اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إنه ليس لي علم بموضع رزقي، وإنما أطلبه بقطرات تخطر على قلبي، فأجول في طلب البلدان، فأنا فيما أنا طالب كالحيران، لا أدري في سهل هو أم في جبل، أم في أرض أم في سماء، أم في بر أم في بحر، ولا يدي من ومن قبل من، وقد علمت أن علمه عندك وأسبابه بيدك، وأنت الذي تقسمه بلطفك وتسببه برحمتك. اللهم فصل على محمد وآله، واجعل يا رب رزقك لي واسعا، ومطلبه سهلا، وماخذه قريبا، ولا تؤنني بطلب ما لم تقدر لي فيه رزقا، فإنك غني عن عذابي وأنا فقير إلى رحمتك. فصل على محمد وآله، وجد على عبدك بفضلك، إنك ذو فضل عظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك وأتوجه إليك بنبيك نبي الرحمة محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. يا أبا القاسم، يا رسول الله، يا إمام الرحمة، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن، يا أمير المؤمنين، يا علي بن أبي طالب، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا فاطمة الزهراء، يا بنت محمد، يا قرة عين الرسول، يا سيدتنا ومولاتنا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيهة عند الله، اشفعي لنا عند الله. يا وبا محمد، يا حسن بن علي، أيها المجتبى يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع. يا أبا عبد الله يا حسين بن علي أيها الشهيد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن الحسين يا زين العابدين يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها الباقر يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله يا أبا عبد الله يا جعفر بن محمد أيها الصادق يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا موسى بن جعفر أيها الكاظم يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى أيها الرضا يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيه يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها التقي الجواد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن محمد أيها الهادي النقي يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها يا وصي الحسن والخلف الحجة أيها القائم المنتظر المهدي يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. Ask for your hajat from Allah. التماس دعاء. يا سادتي وموالي إني توجهت بكم أئمتي إني توجهت بكم إلى الله أئمتي وعدتي ليوم فقري وحاجتي إلى الله وتوسلت بكم إلى الله واستشفعت بكم إلى الله فاشفعوا لي عند الله واستنقذوني من ذنوبي عند الله فإنكم وسيلتي إلى الله وبحبكم وبقربكم أرجو نجاة من الله فكونوا عند الله رجائي يا سادتي يا أولياء الله صلى الله عليهم أجمعين ولعن الله أعداء الله ظالميهم من الأولين والآخرين آمين رب العالمين. لأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات فاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين بالقاسم محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر وصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Tuesday night, dua tawassul. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our tawassul to Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam, and we seek our forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask for assistance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the wasila of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad, inshallah. Continuing with the tafsir, we've been doing the tafsir of the short surahs from the 30th juz. I recited for you chapter number 108 from Quran, known as Suratul Kawthar, the smallest chapter in the entire Quran. Quran is known for two divisions. One is the 114 surahs. Quran is divided into 114 surahs. And second division is the Quran is divided into 6,286 ayat. Now these are two musallam, understood and known divisions of Quran. Meaning what? These are the ones that we have received from Rasulullah. When he put this Quran together after receiving the revelation, when he left this world, he gave us 114 chapters and he gave us that many verses. Not a single verse has been added, nor has it been deleted. There weren't lesser chapters, there aren't more chapters. So these are the two divisions of Quran that we know, and we know for sure are from Rasulullah. All the other divisions that we have of Quran, like 30 juz, is not from Aimma, it's not from Rasulullah. Like the different hizb that we have in Quran, the different manazil that we have in Quran, all of those are not based on the ahadith of Ahlul Bayt. These are, of course, helpful. Nobody is denying the helpful nature of these divisions. For example, Quran is divided into 30 juz. Rasulullah did not say it divided into 30 juz. These 30 juz were divided into later on by scholars for what? So that it will be easy for a person to recite one juz a day. There are 30 days in a month. You recite one juz a day, you can finish the Quran in 30 days. Or the 7 manazil that we have in Quran for usbu', for a week. You recite one manzil a day, you can finish the Quran in 7 days. Or different ruku' that we have in Quran. These ruku' are based on what? Based on the mafhum of the set of ayat that are divided into these ruku'. So for example, in Surah Fatiha, there's 7 ayat, there's only one ruku', right? From the beginning till the end. In Surah Baqarah, every 10 ayat you have a different ruku'. Why? Because of the mafhum of the ayat is similar. That's why they're divided into these different ruku'. But these are all done by people later on. The two divisions that exist from the time of Rasulullah are the ayat, number of ayat, or the number of the chapters that Quran is revealed. So the smallest chapter from that perspective is Suratul Kawthar, containing only 3 ayat. The longest chapter, of course, is Suratul Baqarah, which is 286 ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the beginning of this surah begins with Inna a'tayna kal Kawthar. Of course, I'm sure all the young ones, everyone has this surah memorized. It is the shortest of the surahs. This is one of the first surahs that people memorize and kids memorize as well. And of course, it's long enough because it's a chapter that you can recite it in your salat as well. It begins, it's one of the 4 chapters, only 4 chapters in Quran that begins with the word inna. There are only 4 chapters. There are many places the word inna has appeared. Meaning what? Inna with a na of mutakallim. That indeed we have. Translation of the word inna is what? Inna means we, or rather inna means indeed, and na that is connected to it means we. So the translation would be what? Indeed we did what? A'tayna kal Kawthar. Indeed we bestowed upon you Kawthar. Kawthar is abundance. So as I said, there are 4 chapters in Quran that are revealed with the word inna in the beginning. I've mentioned this before, just for a reminder. First is Surah Fath. That begins chapter 48. Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina. Begins with the word inna. That we gave you this manifesting victory. Second chapter is Surah Nuh, which says, Inna arsalna Nuhan. Indeed, we have sent Nuh. The third chapter is Surah Al-Qadr. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Indeed, we have revealed this book on the night of Qadr. And in the 4th chapter that begins with the word inna is this one. Inna a'tayna kal Kawthar. What is the similarity between these 4? Is it a coincidence that only these 4 Oh, there's no coincidence. In fact, if you look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Wahid. Huwa al-Wahid al-Qahhar. He's only one. There's no doubt about oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our deen is based on monotheism. Wahdaniyat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then why is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using a plural, pronoun for himself? Why didn't he say, I revealed this? I bestowed onto you, O Prophet. I gave you this victory. I sent Nuh upon you. I sent Quran upon you. Why didn't he say I? Instead he uses the word inna, meaning we have done so. Although on numerous occasions Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does use the singular pronoun for himself. But in these 4 occasions we find that Allah has used the plural pronoun for himself. Now of course you and I can understand this. This is primarily because when we use the word plural for ourselves in some of our languages, I don't know about Arabic, but especially in Farsi and in Urdu, we use the word plural for ourselves. Or when we use plural for someone else, for example, a person walks in, you can say Salamun alayka, or you can say Salamun alaykum. Muta'araf is what? Salamun alaykum. Now this is one person. Why are you calling him alaykum? Once, because it is muta'araf. This is how we've learned it. This is raj. Second, out of respect, kum is for plural. At least 3 or more. So if 3 people come, you say Salamun alaykum. It refers to all 3 of them. But if a single person comes, you still say Salamun alaykum. Why? Out of respect. You and I use the same thing. In Urdu, we can give an example. For example, you walk into a house and you say, Hum aaye hain. Arey bhai, aap to akele aaye hain. Phir hum kahan se aa gaye? You're alone. Why are you saying we have come? You've come alone by yourself. Why are you saying we have come? You don't say that in English. You walk into a house and say, we have come. Or maybe you do use it. I don't know. But at least in Urdu, in Hindi, we use the word hum. Out of what? Out of respect. Or aap, for example. But anyways, similarly, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to convey the meaning of giving something with His azamat, with His exalted grandeur and taqaddus in it, He uses the plural pronoun for Himself. So when He talked about giving Islam the manifesting victory, He said, Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina. When He gave us that Nabi, which is Ulul Azm, He said, Inna arsalna Nuhan. When He gave us this Quran, He says, Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. In fact, at another place, in another ayat of Quran, it says, Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu la'afidhun. How many times does He use the plural pronoun for Himself? Inna. We have. Nahnu. Nazzalna. And all of these are used in plural pronouns. And lastly, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the greatest of the favors to Rasulullah, He uses the plural pronoun for Himself. He says, Inna a'tayna kal Kawthar. O Prophet, we have given you the Kawthar. Fasalli li rabbika wanhar. Now go ahead and pray. Offer the salat and give sacrifice. Inna shani'aka huwal abtar. Indeed, your enemy is someone who is abtar. Of course, getting into the tafsir of these ayat, there are 2 words in Arabic that are used for giving. Ata with ta, as used here, or ata with a ta, or ita with a ta, right? Ita uz zakat, ata uz zakat. That is with a ta. Atayna is with a ta, right? When we say inna atayna, ta is used over here, but at the same time the word ita is also used in Arabic for giving. The difference is that giving with a ta is most likely a wajib giving, where you don't expect anything from anyone in return. But when there's atiyah, is most likely a favor out of goodness, where you expect something in return. That's why ita is used for a wajib giving, which is your zakat. It says yuqimuna salat wa yu'tuna zakat. Right? Aqimis salat wa atiz zakat. Ita'uz zakat is obligatory. Therefore, you don't expect anything. I've given this zakat, I'm expecting something in return. But when you have ata, when you give atiyah, it is something which is it is not an obligation. You give this ata to someone as a graciousness, as a gift, and then you expect that when I have done some sort of favor, there might be something that comes towards me. If nothing comes, at least what will be? A good behavior that this person will show as far as what I have given to this person. So, inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. What is this Kawthar? There's a huge discussion in regards to the word Kawthar. We all know, I've talked about it before, so I won't take too much of your time. I've already taken enough of your time tonight. Is this the context of revelation? Rasulullah had already lost 2 of his sons in their infancy. When he had lost his son Qasim and Abdullah. These were 2 of Rasulullah's 3 sons that were born, that died while they were still infants. When his second son, Abdullah, died, Rasulullah was going into the masjid. This man by the name As ibn Wa'il crossed path with Rasulullah, and he referred to him as Abtar. And when he came and sat with his Qurayshi friends, Abu Jahals and Abu Lahabs and whatnot, they asked him, who were you talking to? He said, I was speaking to that man who's Abtar. In Arabian culture, and even in other cultures, the legacy continues with your male kids, male children. Because Rasulullah had lost both of his male children, they were making fun of Rasulullah by saying that his legacy is cut off. He will not have any legacy. His name will not be carried. He doesn't have any sons. Who's going to bear the name of Rasul? So when he dies, his message dies with him as well. But on the contrary, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Rasulullah, وَلَا سَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ. See the word yu'ti? يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. Soon Allah will give you something which will satisfy you. And then that satisfaction and that giving came in the form of إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ الْكَوْثَرَ. That we have given you Kawthar. What is Kawthar? Abundance. What has been given to Rasulullah in abundance? Of course, his male children died in their infancy. There's no amount of wealth that we see in the pockets of Rasulullah. It's not like that he's got millions and millions of dirham and dinar with him. It's not like that he's got greatest of the properties with him. He doesn't have the worldly goods. What is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referring to? That we have given you in abundance. Of course, nobody's comparing the iman of Rasulullah. He's at the highest, at the peak of the iman. Nobody's talking about the akhlaq of Rasulullah. إِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. He's the highest standard of morality. What is it being referred to over here? If you compare it with the last ayat of this surah, which says, Inna shani'aka huwal abtar. O Prophet, these Quraysh, they're calling you abtar, childless, the one whose tail's cut off, the one who doesn't have any male kids. Let them call you that. Why? Indeed, your enemy is abtar. Your progeny will continue because we have given you abundance. What have we given you? We have given you Fatimatu Zahra, salamullahi alayha. So because of the wujud of Fatimatu Zahra, your children will continue. Your progeny will continue, and that is one of the meanings of Kawthar. Of course, I have given you the gist of what I wanted to talk about, but towards the end, very quickly, there's a hadith which is as far as the benefits of reciting this surah is concerned. This surah, fadilat of reciting the surah, again a riwayat from Rasulullah which says, Man qara'a surat al-Kawthar, saqahu Allahu min anharil jannati wa u'tiya min al-ajri bi'adadi kulli qurbanin qarrabahu al-ibadu fi yawmi Eid. He said, whoever recites this surah, Allah will quench his thirst from the rivers of paradise and will give him the reward of all the sacrifices made by the servants on the day of Eid al-Adha. So recite this surah. You know this surah, recite this surah on a regular basis. One last note about this surah, and inshallah I'll conclude. It is the shortest surah of Quran. You can count the words that are used in it. Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar fasalli li-rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka huwa abtar al-abtar. How many? 10 words are used. So shortest surah of Quran. 10 words are used. Now there's a fa in there, there's a, ba in there, but that is not a word. Words are these 10. There's a kaf of zamir in there. We don't count that as them. There are 10 words that are used in it. Out of these 10, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never used 5 of them ever again. Look at the eloquence of Quran. Quran, which has 6,000 plus ayat in it, and thousands of words in it. So many words are repeated. Even in 15 minutes talk that I gave you, I've repeated so many words so many times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this shortest chapter of Quran, uses 10 words. Out of these 10, Allah never repeats the 5. What are those 5? A'tainaka, never used again. Kawthar, never used again in Quran. Wanhar, never used again in Quran. Shani'aka, never used again in Quran. Abtar, never used in Quran. These 5 words are only and only exclusively used in this chapter and never repeated again in Quran. Ever thought why? When I do a favor to you, let's say someone came to me and he was in need. He said, Maulana, can you help me? I'm in need of some money. So I grabbed onto my pocket and whatever money I came out and I gave it to him. Now this is a man of honor. He doesn't want to ask in front of the khalq and the people. So he came privately and asked for help. Me too, keeping in mind the status of the individual, that he wants to keep his respect, that he's right now in need. Maybe naturally and normally he's not in need. Keeping that in mind, I give him secretly. Now the last thing this man wants is me coming to the pulpit and announcing to the world, oh, I helped so and so. I gave them $100. What will happen to this person? This person will be ashamed because of the integrity that he or she has in the eyes of the people. Temporarily they're in need. Even if they are constantly in need, they're people of integrity. They don't want this to become a public knowledge that I'm getting help from someone. So when we don't want that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that although it's a giving from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but to keep the integrity of Rasulullah, that's something that Allah has given to His Habib. He doesn't want to repeat and remind him so that it sounds like a reproach and a brag and a boast that I gave it to you. Not only that, Allah never mentions that I gave you something, Allah does not even use the same words that He bestowed Rasulullah with. So you and I, what do we learn from it? We learn from it is that when we give something to someone, put it in the vault and throw it away. Neki kar, tariyam dal. Why? Because you don't want someone to be feeling ashamed. There shouldn't be any reproach. There shouldn't be any bragging. There shouldn't be any boasting when you have helped another mu'min brother or sister. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah, Assalamu alaikum ya Nabi Allah, Assalamu alaikum ya Habib Allah, Assalamu alaikum ya Khairatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa Abdullah, Assalamu alaikum wa Rasulullah, Assalamu alaikum wa ala jaddika wa abika wa ala ummika wa akhika wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum ya Gharib al-Ghuraba, Assalamu alaikum Mu'in al-Du'afa wal-Fuqara, Assalamu alaikum Shams al-Shumus wa Anis al-Nufus, Ayyuha al-Madfun bi'ardatus, Ali ibn Musa radha wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman, Assalamu alaikum Imam al-Insi wal-Jan. Assalamu alaikum Sharik al-Quran, Ajjal Allah Ta'ala farajak wa sahhal Allah makhrajak wa zuhurak वजअलना मिन अवानिक व अंसारिक व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।